Alright, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be kicking off the Fireside chat, the second one, in a bit. So do get yourself comfortable on all the seats in front of the stage. And the topic is about preparing your landed homes to sell with maximum exposure. So if you're planning to sell your landed home, our next panel of experts will be sharing meticulous steps you should take to effectively prepare it for the market. Looking at two specific case studies from 63 Siglap Plain and Jalan Cempedak, right? Join them for an insightful discussion on the motivations, processes, and benefits of a meticulous property preparation before a landed home transaction, and gain valuable insights into proactive property selling strategies in today's competitive real estate market. With that, please do put your hands together as we welcome Associate Listing Manager of PropertyLimBrothers, Mr. Lee Jin Wei, and Associate Listing Consultant Manager of PropertyLimBrothers, Ms. Jesley Lim. And last but not least, our moderator for today, Senior Marketing and Business Development Manager of PropertyLimBrothers, Ms. Grayce Tan, up on stage, please. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to our PLB Landed Convention. We hope you are having a fantastic day with us. Thank you for spending your Saturday, your precious Saturday with us as well. So right here with me, I have Jun Wei and Jesley. They are our landed consultants, and we have a very exciting case study to share with everyone. All right, so today, for this next 30 minutes, what we will be sharing is basically a very unique case of what happens when a seller is marketing their property, at any stage in time, and they experience a change of plans. So this is exactly what happened right here with the two case studies that Jun and Jesley are going to share today. So maybe let's roll a very quick video to just take a look at, what is this very unique situation that we have here.
This is one of a rare chance that you will get to have this kind of land plots for sale. And
if let's say today you're kind of sitting on the fence, hey, should I be going for something like this or should I be buying something that is brand new from developer?
we're going to talk about the land that this opportunity occurs for every landed home buyers right now.
We're going to share with you how this makes sense and why you can buy into this one, potentially rebuild into a brand new home.
Now this is a very unique land because firstly, our clients bought this land, wanted to demolish it, rebuild into a full-on 12 meters, 2.5-story beautiful home. However, plans change a little bit, and thus this presents an opportunity for you if you're planning to buy an old landed home to tear down, rebuild into a Cat 4 home.
What we have is actually 168 pages of full rebuild deck. The plans are ready for you to go. All you need to do is just to appoint a builder and you are set to go.
So if you are somebody that's hunting to rebuild your own home because you have your own specs and requirements, this piece of land plot is extremely suitable for your family. Let's zoom in on what can you do with this land plot the moment you purchase it. So all you need to do right now is to bring in your architect immediately and then of course kickstart the rebuilding phase. This is of course the very exciting phase.
This current single story will potentially be transformed into 2.5, where you have a double volume, very beautiful glass right at the front. At the mezzanine level is where you have an open roof terrace for your family to lounge. And then as we head all the way up is where your master bedroom is. 2 car parking space right at the front, 0 pillar in the middle. So that is definitely going to be looking gorgeous. I think we're going to let you just take a look at how this entire transformation will be taking place before we head up to the mezzanine level.
Naturally, when you build a home in today's day and age, in the year 2023, you want to make sure that you future-proof your home. A lift is a must. And minimally, you have to go for at least 6 bedrooms upwards. In 5 to 8 years time, you want to exit and you want to put this home in the resale market. You want to make sure that the next audience and the next family will find your home appealing to their needs. And this presents an opportunity for landed home buyers who are ready to enter into the market to rebuild your own home.
So of course we have the plans ready. If you like to take them on, of course you can take them on.
This land plot presents an opportunity for owners that are hunting for older landed homes that you want to tear down and rebuild to your own specs and requirements.
All right. right, so that is the very interesting case studies that we'll talk about today, Jalan Cempedak as well as Siglap Plain. Now, in PLB, we always have this. If you're familiar with our landed investment framework, you will know that we classify landed homes in terms of Category 1 to Category 4. Category 1 being the most, original condition homes suitable for tear down and rebuild, and Category 4 being brand new homes. Now, today we have something even more interesting to talk about. How do we market homes that are, original condition, but also when the house has already been demolished? So we'll have Junwei to share with us about Siglap Plain, as well as Jesley to share about Jalan Cempedak. Yeah.
Okay, hello everybody, good afternoon, Junwei here. So today we have, as Grayce mentioned, 2 different case studies to share. And I think this is quite interesting situation that the sellers are in. And we're going to share a little bit more, so I hope it benefits any home sellers who are in a similar situation, or you foresee that sometime down the road you may be in the same situation.
Yeah. So maybe tell us a little bit about how did the first conversations happen, how did the lead come about, and how did we start the discussions with the sellers?
Right, so for my case, I'm on the case together with my colleague George. So we are handling an inter-terrace plot at Siglap Plain. So this is an inter-terrace plot which is quite sizable. Size-wise, it's about 2,304 square feet. For an inter-terrace, it's quite large. Frontage is about 7 meters. So very good size inter-terrace. The situation with this plot is when we met the sellers, they had already purchased this land for about, they bought this in 2020, in December of 2020, so about 3.5 years thereabout already. And the intention was to tear down the house that's sitting on the land now and rebuild it to a 2.5 stories brand new inter-terrace. So when we met them, they are thinking, should they go into a rebuilding process or should they sell the house as it is? And when we met them, interestingly, they had already done all the plans. So they had already done soil testing. They had already submitted the architect plans and already gotten approval from BCA as well. So the house is pretty much ready to go into a rebuilding phase. They just have to appoint an architect, appoint a builder, and it's ready to go. Yeah, so when we met them, they were having a little bit of dilemma between the two.
Okay, so if I understand this correctly, they already had the plans. They wanted to tear down this original Cat 1 home and rebuild.
Correct.
When they came for the first consult, they were in a dilemma whether they should proceed to tear down and rebuild or should they just sell as this original condition home.
Yep, correct.
Okay, what about Jesley?
So my sellers, okay, so this plot of land is at Jalan Cempedak. It's along Upper Thomson. So if you know like where Lower Pierce Reservoir is, that's the location of it. My clients is slightly similar to what Junwei's client is experiencing. So during the consult, we did the exact same thing. Like we had to sit them down and then like give them a different routes. So actually there is only like route 1 or 2. So route 2 would be to take on the rebuilding process, take about maybe 2 years to have it brand new and need to add on a little bit of premium to sell it to the future buyers. And then we had another option, which is to sell the land as it is, but we will try to get the maximum potential out of it. So for my land, this one that you see here, we are one step ahead in a way whereby my sellers actually took the step to demolish it. So this, in a way, it's good for the buyers because the sellers have already paid the demolition for you. Soil testing already done. We have the plans all done up already. It was supposed to be a multi-generation home. But they were at this spot whereby plans change, lifestyles change. They now no longer need this big piece of land. They are going to right size instead. Demolishing it, however, also comes with its sets of problems because during viewing, there's practically no house to see at all. There's just nothing to see. It's all stones, it's all rubble, it's barricaded. I have to like untie the chain, the metal chain. Yeah, so you go landed viewing, you can still bring umbrella, right? But over here, when I go to the viewing, I need to wear sport shoes because it's all stones and rubble. And I'm not too sure whether you did see, the land actually sloped downwards. So it's actually quite a dangerous job. Yeah, it's not always just opening the door, especially for one where there is no door to open. Correct.
Okay. Yeah, great. So, okay, I think that definitely, I was going to ask how's the viewing process, but you already answered it. So, as you can see from the videos, an empty plot of land. Junwei, what about the viewing experience on your end?
I think for Siglap Plain, or just a little bit of context, we just launched this for sale not too long ago, just about 2 weeks ago. And the home tour video that you're seeing now in the background, this is ready just today, this morning. So we're going to launch it probably tomorrow to be on YouTube. The viewing experience so far, we had a couple of viewings, and every single viewing, the buyer will ask, how much can this land yield in terms of number of bedrooms, in terms of build-up size, in terms of how the facade will look, how many cars we can park and all that. So it's helpful that the sellers had already gone through all the approval steps and all that. So it's very clear to us that this land can yield up to 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms. If you want to stretch up to 6 bedrooms, that's even doable as well. So it's helpful that the sellers already has these plans and we have them ready in our hands to show the buyers. But I think another thing that was helpful and useful to us to bring out the potential of these kind of homes is the use of architectural visualization, like what you're seeing. This is a plot that you're seeing. So right now the house looks like that. And when we conduct viewings there, it's hard for the buyer to visualize. Because when you look at the land just by itself, you wouldn't be able to tell that in this land alone, I can fit 5 bedrooms. I can go up to 2.5 stories with a mezzanine level. And on top of that, you have very desirable traits that a lot of buyers are looking for in the terraces nowadays. And we're talking about things like a skylight. We're talking about things like a lift. It's hard to visualize when it's just a dilapidated home there. So this that our video team has done up has been very helpful for us. And we're able to then showcase the potential of this home. And we bring the plans to life, I would say. We bring the plans to life. And kudos to our media guys, because I just checked in with them before I came onto stage. How long did it take them to do architectural visualization like that? It took them 3 weeks to do up things like that. So thanks to our sellers who are extremely patient as well. And we look forward to a successful sale.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, I would like to point out something, because for your sellers, they are okay to share the plans, right? They are okay to sell the plan to the potential buyer. Yep. But it was slightly different for our case here. Our sellers put in a lot of effort into the plans that they have for this perfect home that they thought they could have. So when they really put down the heart to, okay, we're going to sell the land as it is, they actually don't want us to sell the exact plan. Yeah, they want the buyers to, okay lah, maybe we can take certain reference from it, but I do not want to see what I have worked out. The plans, the perfect house that I have planned for myself and my family to be rebuilt by another buyer. So that was something very different from my sellers. So what we did is, okay, because they already have all the BCA plans and stuff, right? So we kind of just take a look, but we change a little bit here and there. And it's a bit difficult for us to, as a property agent, to tell the buyers, oh, this is what you can do. This is a 2.5 story, and then this is where the lift is going to be. When my land is just all rubbles and stone. This is where our AV team come in, the architectural visualization. We are able to do some improvisation such that there is still a house for them to take reference. When the eventual buyer do come in, they will see what is the potential of it. For my land, it's slightly different, because if just now you did see, on the side of it, it's actually reserve side. There's nothing. It's what we call, we saw this as a true blue corner terrace. Because sometimes corner terrace can be kept by another corner terrace. Then maybe the view-wise is, maybe you are seeing your neighbor, but this one is really unblocked. And because of the elevation, there is a slight slope, correct? So Jalan Jampatan is actually one slope higher than the rows of inter-terrace at the bottom. So when it comes to like being on the 3rd level, they actually enjoy very, 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 very nice view. We kind of sold the idea whereby we can do a flip in terms of the structure of a layout in a landed. Most of the landed 1st level is your combined living, dining, and then kitchen. Granny room at the back. So we switch it up because we wanted to sell the potential, which is the unblocked view. I want to wow my friends, wow my family members with an unblocked view. So we sold the idea whereby living room and maybe a swimming pool can be built on top instead. So this is where you host all your gatherings, and then bedroom-wise, we just leave it to the 1st and the 2nd level.
See, how did you, get a good sensing of the view in the area during the marketing process?
We flew in a drone. Because we are at level 1, level 1 is ground 0 meter, but the view is at level 12. Of course, I can't fly up there, but we have our drone to fly up to level, not level 12, 12 meters. Then we put in this clip into the video. So people will know, oh, okay, this is the view that you're talking about.
Okay, great. So thanks for sharing a little bit about the marketing process. Now I just want to take us back a little bit to the conversation that maybe both of you had with your sellers. So I'm sure amongst our midst we do have landed buyers, landed sellers, and perhaps some of the landed sellers are also at a juncture where they were at where your sellers were at, thinking whether should I tear down, or should I sell it as is, a more original condition home, or should I invest that time and that money, maybe do the full demolition and full build up and then sell it with a premium. So should I undertake this project as a developer in some ways, right, to rebuild this entire landed end market? So what was the thought process and what was the conversation that was had with the sellers at that time?
Okay, so it's good that you brought this up because this was the exact question that the seller asked us when we met them the first time. So the question was, since I already have the plans and I already invested some money into getting approvals and all that, should I go ahead and rebuild it to what it was meant to be, and then I sell it as a brand new inter-terrace on the market? Or should I just sell it as it is now?
Yeah,
so
it's quite costly as well.
Correct.
Right, this process to get the plans, 168 pages, as well as Jesley, your sellers have already invested in the demolition itself.
Yeah.
So, I'm curious as to why did they, and what was the conversation that was had that led them to decide to sell at that point in time instead of following through with the plans and then selling perhaps at a premium?
Yeah. So, of course, we shared with them the two options. No right, no wrong. With every option that you pick, there's always pros and cons to it. So a few things that was discussed at the table was, number one, if you decide to take on the rebuilding project, you're going to have to spend time and effort to do the entire thing. That could last up to 1.5 years, maybe 2 years even. And when you are going to sell it as a new product, if you had already spent, let's say, $1.8 million, $2 million into rebuilding an inter-terrace, chances are when you put it onto the resale market as a brand new product, you will factor in a little bit of a premium. And the question is, at that point in time, when you're selling it 2 years later, is the market ready to absorb that price? That's one. The second thing is also, we asked the sellers, what are their next plans after they sell off this C-Club plane? Because if the plan is to upgrade and buy something bigger, maybe upgrade to a corner terrace, to a semi-D or a detached even, then it might not be wise to go through with the rebuilding process because that will cost you time. And we're always talking about opportunity cost, right? If you spend time to do this, 2 years later, maybe the prices for a semi-D will run faster than it does for an inter-terrace. So then you'll find that after you rebuild and you sell it in the resale market, you might be in a position where you're priced out for the product that you want to go for. So that's another consideration. The third consideration was, oftentimes, and you see a lot of developer listings on sale today, I do check them out. Developers will always give you, or rather I would say usually you will get a 1-year defect liability period. Whereas if you are taking on the project yourself as an owner, and then you put it onto the resale market, you probably can't give that kind of assurance to the buyers, and that may put you in a less advantageous situation. Yep. So that's another consideration. And in the end, the decision was to sell the house as it is, like what you're seeing on the screen now. But because we already had the plans, and a combination with our expertise, we're then able to help bring out the potential of the home. So that's how we derived to the conclusion of let's sell C-Club plain as it is. Yeah, and okay. It's on sale now, by the way. The asking price is 4.75 million. It's a negotiable price, but yeah, if you're keen to have a look, let us know. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that is a very good, I think, metric for deciding, right? So in terms of the invested money, capital that has been invested, in terms of time, which is your opportunity cost as well. Something that we, think about also is in terms of intangible things, like a home is an emotional purchase, right? So for the next buyer, I think, Jesley, you described that, for sellers, they had an ideal home that they wanted. It was a dream home for them. But this dream home looks different for every buyer. Right, so if today this home has been, you've invested about 1.82 million to rebuild, let's say 1.5 years, 2 years of time, and this might not be what the next buyer is actually looking for. Right, so that might be something that is contentious as well. So Jesley, was that the same, thought process and conversation that you had with your sellers?
Yeah, that was the same consult. So I guess like one thing good when we have landed clients that come to talk to PLB and our consultation team is that we are very neutral in our thoughts. We just want to give the best out. We just want to be your friend. We just want to talk out all the different options that is available to you. And what's good when you come and talk to us is that we actually have our own connection of like surveyors, of bankers, and that's how we learn throughout our cases as well. I never knew that, if it's a bare land, not all bankers will give you 75%. Like some banks only give you 50%, and depending on whether do you have the plans to rebuild it in the next 6 months or 1 year, that's going to affect how you take the loan from the bank as well. So we actually have talks with different surveyor to know the restriction of that particular land. So when the client come and talk to us, they did share like what are some of the plus point, which I mentioned, the unblocked view. They were also very candid to share like what was the not so plus point. So we will talk to the surveyor to see like, is there any way we can mitigate around these restrictions? What I'm talking about is maybe a location of certain manhole. Maybe you want to build a swimming pool, but unfortunately it doesn't allow, something like that. But we are not someone that can advocate on that because we are not trained in to do so. But we can talk to our surveyor, and then from their expertise point of view, we then can talk to buyers who are interested to buy over the land, but they themselves, maybe they are not that aware of the situation. I think that's the good point when it comes to a consultation with PLB.
Okay, great. Thanks for sharing. So we've covered a little bit about the consultation, the thought processes, the marketing, the wonderful 3D AV done by the team as well. So maybe Jesley, share a little bit more about, how did the eventual buyer come about, and what was that like, the conversations? Because it's a real obstacle, right? Not being able. Number one, we are marketing the pure land itself. Viewings are very interesting. And then, in addition to that, you are unable to take the full 75% loan. So there's definitely a couple of obstacles for the buyer. So how did the eventual buyer come about, and what was the conversation like?
So we always do co-broking, right? We talk to different agents. Hey, you got buyer, you bring over. So that's how the eventual buyer came to know of this land. It's not because he was searching on Property Guru. It's because like we actively also go and connect to other co-broke agents to invite them to bring interested party to come down to our land to take a look. So guess what? The buyer, right, is also a property agent. Yeah, that was the interesting part. Like we can even sell this. Usually we're very skeptical. I'm a property agent. Hey, you sure or not? You sure you can do this or not? But they are very well aware of what we are selling, and they know that what we are not bullshitting. We got backup one. That's why we dare to sell this kind of idea. So the buyer was a property agent. I would say that talking to him was very easy. How come? Because he watched the video already. So we do a lot of our homework. So the Chinese always say, what, 台下10年功, 台上1分钟. Which one comes first? Something like that. So this is exactly how we sold the house. Behind each and every of the video, actually there's tons and tons and tons of homework that we did before we present up to this like 10 to 15 minutes short format video for people to digest. So when the buyer saw this, I think he was sold by the view. So guess what? After that, I managed to talk to him because agent ma, talk to me lah, okay? Then he sent me his BCA plan. He really put the living room on the top level. All the bedrooms are on the first and second level. That's exactly the provision that we gave to our audience and our buyers, the potential that you can have this as a dream home. And he took it. This is what I like. I felt the best satisfaction out of it. Oh my God, you really took that idea, Yes.
Okay. Interesting. So any other, in terms of challenges, should, let's say if our landed sellers here are marketing their unit currently, because this entire keynote, we also want to highlight in terms of if you are a landed seller today, is there anything that, any obstacle, any challenge that you should look at? And in terms of the marketing, are there any things that, we can share with the landed sellers that are currently marketing their property?
I think the good thing when you approach PLB is that we are able to see beyond what normal agents could not, number one, and what other buyers could not. Maybe some buyers always kick out, hey, why your house, the renovation not as ideal, but we'll use another plus point of your house to try to compensate for that. And we can do this in many formats, but I would say that the best plus point that we can get out or we can provide to you would really be the visual effects, because unfortunately Singaporeans are a very visual people. We only like what we see. Like if you tell me, wow, the house very nice, got golden toilet bowl, right? Cannot imagine one. We must really put out to you in visual, then you will see the beauty of it. Yeah, so that's what I think PLB is pioneering and excelling in.
Unfortunately or fortunately, that they are very visual people. I think importantly for maybe any landed sellers who are facing the same situation or problems, I think importantly when the home is in such a stage where either the structure is dilapidated or you're selling a bare land, it's important to have a lot of transparency. I think buyers will appreciate transparency because a lot of times you go onto some of the biggest property portals here in Singapore, you will find that landed homes, sometimes agents just don't want to post too much information. If the house is old, probably the photos that you see on there are not the real photos of the house as well. And I think, I mean, we do take a different approach. I think the more transparency you have with the buyers, the more they're able to believe what you're saying, the more they're able to believe what you're showing them, and I think that will help to eventually come to a successful deal. Because if you hide a lot of information like where the plot is at, how does the house look like now and all that, then they will have a lot of thoughts in the back of their head, right? Are the sellers hiding something? Is it when I demolish the house already, there's something underneath and all that kind of stuff? So I think it's important to have transparency. It's important to bring that out, and most importantly is to sell the potential of the house, because if you're just selling the bare land, anybody can do that. So I think, yeah, that's something for, well, any sellers who will find it useful. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, this makes me think about, a lot of times where we have landed sellers, that come in with us and they want to market their property. And then there are certain obstacles. Maybe they've been marketing for 6 months, 12 months, sometimes even 18 months without any offers. Maybe there are viewings, but there are no offers. So, it brings us to a point where the sellers will ask, okay, maybe there are certain obstacles of their property, right? So, for example, this could be west sun facing. This could be, it not necessarily has to be the stage, right? It not necessarily has to be an original condition home. Even brand new homes, even very extremely well renovated homes do have their obstacles as well. So we always think that there's no home that doesn't have a so-called obstacle, but there are no obstacles that do not have solutions. Yeah, it's just about matching the right buyer to your home. So at PLB, what we do is that we do not want to conceal certain things. We do not want to hide. Let's say if there's a long driveway, for example, or if there is certain obstacles that buyers may not like, we choose to provide solutions instead of hide these obstacles. Because when the buyers come, then the viewing experience will be different as well, right? So if we were to conceal certain things, at the end of the day, they are not the right buyer for the home. Yeah, so maybe before we end off, Jesley, could you also share in terms of, because I know Chin Wei, the house is just being marketed right now. Jesley, you managed to connect with the right buyer eventually. So could you, before we end off this sharing, share about what are some of the obstacles that we did highlight in the video, other than the plot and all that, that did And how did it attract the buyer in the end?
So every obstacle can be, I believe in like having a double-edged sword for everything. So this piece of land at the back is sloping downwards. Some people may view this as an additional GFA for you to use. You can use this as a basement. This could be additional space for you to use. But some buyer may view this as an obstacle because not flat ma. We always look for things, I want flat one, easy to build. But I actually do see the potential of having such a basement because it's sloping downwards. Is a part of the land whereby you don't see this in most of the landed. Usually they are like sloping upwards one or like split living dining. But this one is going downwards. So we did highlight to in the video. We did show them like what you call it, the side view of how the land is like, and then we tell them that it's like that. There's no way you are going to lever this up. If you want this land, you will have to accept it is downward sloping, which is the reason why you can get such a view to begin with. If let's say today this particular land is flat, that means behind you, your row of interterrace is also flat. Then at the third level, at 12 meter high, you'll probably just be seeing your neighbors. So we must be able to come out with, yes, this may look like a potential obstacle for some buyers, but with this obstacle, then it comes the beauty of the unblocked view.
Okay, thanks for sharing. So Junwei, one last question for you. So in terms of the marketing of Siglap Plain right now, what other things does the home tour include other than the 3D architectural visualization to help the buyers imagine, So maybe just share a little bit, what other information can we find in the home tour if today we are a buyer that is looking for something like this?
Yep. I think besides visually, we talk a lot about what is included in the home. We talk about things like having a lift, having a skylight, provision for powering up the house to maybe 3-phase so that you can provision for EV charging and all that. So it's a lot talking about how you can future-proof the home. Because right now the home is not built yet. So you still have the opportunity to put in things that could be very useful in the future, could add value to the property. And on top of that, we also talk about pricing quite a bit. Because you see, now you're purchasing a land, let's say for over $1 million. You sink in $2 million to rebuild this to a 2.5 stories interterrace. That will bring your total investment to come out to be $6 million, just slightly below $7 million. And right now, if you look in the area there, if you want to buy a brand new interterrace from the developer, land size will be smaller than ours because 2,003 for interterrace is a big plot, right? You'll be able to find something 1,700, 1,800 square feet of land, interterrace brand new, you're already looking at above 7 million. Some even approaching the $8 million mark for interterrace brand new. So this presents an opportunity for buyers who want something new, yet at the same time they want to keep their quantum below, around the 7 million range. This is a great opportunity. So we talk a lot about pricing and how it compares to other new builds as well. And yeah, so that's something they can look forward to in the video. We're going to launch it soon. I think we will launch it probably tonight or tomorrow. I'm not sure. I have to speak to the team first.
Okay, thanks so much, Jun and Jesley, for the sharing. We hope this 30 minutes was insightful for you. So we do have a little small announcement, which is that we are launching our Landed VIP Club. Okay, so this is the first day that we're actually launching this. An announcement for everyone that is here with us at PLB Landed Convention. So this PLB VIP Landed Club will be an exclusive club, so you can take a look here. Later, we will also flash the QR code for you to sign up. So once you have enrolled yourselves into this Landed VIP Club, you will actually be invited to a private chat group where we will share exclusive landed frameworks. We will also share about our investment analysis for landed homes, as well as more exclusive landed events coming up. All right, so we hope you enjoyed this quick case study sharings. We hope it brought some value to you, whether you are a landed seller or a landed buyer in the market today. We hope that this sharing gives you a little bit more insight into, what are some of the things to consider, what are some of the thought processes, and if you are a landed seller that is looking to market your home, then we hope that this has added value to you as well. All right, so Junwei, Jesley, and myself will be around. So if you would like to chat, then do come and say hi. And look forward to an exciting afternoon of a lot more sharings to come. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank
A
you.
round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Ms. Grayce Tan, Mr. Lee Chun Wei, and Ms. Jesley Lim. Thank you very much.